Let's talk about one of the biggest financial myths ever taught to the middle class. Debt is bad. You've probably heard this your entire life. Your parents said it, school taught it, financial gurus repeat it every day. Stay out of debt. Avoid borrowing money. Pay everything in cash. And on the surface, that sounds responsible. But according to Robert Kiyosaki, that belief alone may be keeping millions of people financially stuck. Because the truth is, poor people fear debt. Rich people learn how to use debt. Now, before people get emotional, this does not mean all debt is good. Some debt destroys your future. Some debt builds your future. The real question is not, do you have debt? The real question is, what is the debt doing for you? Is it taking money out of your pocket? Or putting money into your pocket? And that distinction changes everything. Today we're going to break this down with real-life examples and real psychology and real financial behavior happening every single day in America. Because once you understand how wealthy people think about debt, you stop playing defense with money and start understanding how financial systems actually work. Let's begin. Most people fear debt because they've personally experienced bad debt. And honestly, that fear makes sense. Think about the average person. They use credit cards to buy things they cannot afford: clothes, phones, vacations, restaurants, luxury items, and every month, interest accumulates. Now they owe money on things that already lost value. That creates stress, anxiety, pressure, and eventually they associate all debt with pain. But here's the problem: they never learned the difference between consumer debt and investment debt. That's like saying all food is unhealthy because junk food exists. No. Some food destroys your body. Some food fuels your body. Debt works the exact same way. Bad debt makes you poorer. Good debt helps you acquire assets. And financially educated people understand the difference. Let's define bad debt first. Bad debt is debt used to buy liabilities, things that take money out of your pocket. Here are common examples: credit card debt for shopping, car loans for expensive vehicles, financing luxury watches, borrowing money for vacations, buy now, pay later purchases. Notice something important. None of these things produce income. They only create expenses. And yet, millions of people are trapped in this cycle. They borrow money to impress people who are also broke. A person buys a luxury car for $70,000. Monthly payment, $1,100. Insurance, $300. Maintenance, $200. Gas, $300. That car isn't making money. It's consuming money every single month. And the craziest part? The value of the car keeps dropping every year. So the person is literally paying interest on a depreciating asset. That is bad debt. Now let's talk about how wealthy people think. Rich people ask a completely different question. Instead of asking, how much does this cost? They ask, how much cash flow does this generate? That mindset shift changes everything. Because wealthy people use debt strategically. For example, imagine someone uses a mortgage to buy a rental property. The property costs $400,000. They put down 20%. The bank finances the rest. Now tenants pay monthly rent. That rent covers the mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance, and still produces positive cash flow every month. Now think about what's happening. The debt is helping the investor control an income-producing asset. The tenant is helping pay off the loan. The property may appreciate over time, and the owner builds equity while receiving cash flow. That is completely different from using debt to buy liabilities. Same tool, different outcome. One thing Kiyosaki talks about often is leverage. And this is where many people misunderstand wealth building. The wealthy rarely use only their own money. They use systems, banks, financing, investors, business structures. Why? Because leverage allows them to control larger assets without paying 100% cash up front. Imagine two people. Person A saves for 15 years to buy one property in cash. Person B learns how to finance properties responsibly. Over those same 15 years, they acquire multiple income-producing assets. Who grows wealth faster? Usually the person who understands leverage. Now, obviously, this only works if the asset produces cash flow. That's the key. Because leverage magnifies outcomes. Good investment? Leverage accelerates gains. Bad investment? Leverage accelerates losses? That's why financial education matters more than motivation. Let's compare two real-world financial behaviors. Person number 1, Jake. Jake gets approved for a large auto loan. He buys a luxury SUV. The moment he drives it off the lot, the value drops. 5 years later, the car is worth far less. But he paid tens of thousands in interest, insurance, repairs, and depreciation. Now let's look at Sarah. Sarah also uses debt, but instead of buying a luxury car, she buys a small duplex. She lives in one unit, rents out the other unit. The tenant's rent helps cover the mortgage. Over time, the property appreciates. The loan balance decreases, and eventually, the property creates monthly cash flow. Both people used debt, but one debt created consumption. The other created assets. This is exactly what Kiyosaki means when he says, the rich acquire assets. Now here's an uncomfortable truth. Most schools never teach financial intelligence. They teach people how to become employees, not investors, not business owners, not asset builders. So people graduate understanding algebra, but not cash flow. They understand history exams, but not tax systems. And because they lack financial education, they become afraid of tools they don't understand. That includes debt. Debt is emotional for many people, and honestly, that's understandable. Some people grew up watching their parents struggle financially. Others experienced bankruptcy. Others were crushed by credit card interest. So when they hear the word debt, they feel fear immediately. But wealthy people separate emotion from financial tools. They ask, what's the ROI? What's the risk? What's the cash flow? What's the downside protection? They analyze debt logically, not emotionally. Now let me be very clear. This is not financial advice, and this is not encouragement to blindly borrow money. Because irresponsible debt can absolutely destroy lives. If you don't understand investing, if you don't understand risk, if you don't understand cash flow, then leverage becomes dangerous. That's why education comes first, always. Kiyosaki's philosophy was never, go into debt recklessly. His philosophy is learn financial intelligence. So was debt always bad? No. Bad debt is bad. Uneducated debt is dangerous. Consumer debt can trap people for decades. But strategic debt, used to acquire income-producing assets, can accelerate wealth creation. That's why financially educated people focus less on the word debt and more on cash flow, assets, and leverage. Remember this: the poor buy liabilities and think they're assets. The rich buy assets that generate income, and often they use debt strategically to do it. So next time someone says, all debt is bad, ask a better question. What is the debt buying? Because that answer changes everything. If you want the next episode in this Financial Myths series, comment 1.
Hey, I'm Suri. And before you go, if this video gave you a new perspective or helped you think differently about money, life, or success, then maybe this channel is worth being part of. I spend hours researching, writing, and creating every single video, not just for views, but to create something meaningful, something real. So if you'd like to support the journey, subscribe and let's grow wiser together. Thank you for being here.